But I never understood. At some point, people made, all right, we're going to make a program. This was before they called it software or app. It's a program. And it does shit, and oh no, we've written so much code that it won't fit on a floppy disk. So let's rewrite it and use some of the files that already is in Windows, right? And then you got that problem that, all right, Microsoft changes something and then your game doesn't work. And then, yes, you have to copy an old DLL file and move that into the Windows system folder. And then it magically works again. But today, storage isn't a problem. So, I mean, any software or app or program, whatever tickles your fancy, can just have all the files it need. So you could go back to the good old days of 1992, where you could just copy Commander key in the entire folder and just move it, and it works because it has all its shit together in the same folder.
But then they can't data mine you and send you updates and get you on subscription services and loot boxes and steal your credit card and
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't trust anything that doesn't fit on a Fortran punch card myself. If you can't fit it on that, it's not worth it.
Well, I mean, you're probably very close to where I am. I don't trust anything, period.
Simplify that statement. I just don't trust anything.
Yeah.
Deny by default. Isn't that what they call it in IT security?
Syntax error. Could not find trust.
I mean, isn't that what you said, Haavard, earlier, that you just, no, this email is spam. It looks like it's from my boss, but it's probably spam. It's someone trying to phishing. Nope, I'm not opening that. I'm not opening that. Nope. Let's come from HR. Nope, not opening that.
I did that today because they sent out IT, the department, they send out once a year a IT satisfaction survey. And I like, oh, spam. I reported as a phishing attempt. It had a link. It had a fishy, like no reply at company at. So it's like all this, no, phishing attempt. I'm just waiting for one of them to look at this bastard. But I mean, we can't not give him a golden star for being vigilante, but we're on to him.
So when the email round, not the customer satisfaction, but the staff satisfaction survey. Yeah. It's completely anonymous. Right. Sure.
That's why I have a personal link.
So how do you know that I haven't filled it in?
Yeah, I had a similar thing actually at work a week ago, I think, when I got this email from a place I don't recognize, but it said in the message that, oh, here is the form to fill out, John from HR, and our HR guy is named John. But I mean, this looked, and it was also one image at the bottom didn't load, but this looked fishy as F. So I just took a screenshot of it and sent it to him. Like, is this a real thing? But yeah, it's the contract you needed to sign. Okay, but could it look a bit less like a phishing attempt, perhaps? Yeah, I know how it is, but it's a system we're using. So yeah, but good on you on asking. So
yeah,
but we are on the verge of entering into the upside down world, because up until now, the way you have spotted phishing attempts is poor grammar, weird wording, and whatnot. But they are getting better, and with AI now, the phishing attempts look so good and it's hard to distinguish them. So now you know that if there's a spelling error or something, yeah, this is probably human, so then it's okay. Because the spammers have gone over to AI to look as legit as possible.
Yeah, quite probable.
I like those automated phone calls you get occasionally. I really like, if I've got time, especially if I'm at work. Obviously, not when I'm at work. I'm only working when I'm at work. If you get one of those, suspected spam calls come up, and it's a human. The last one I had was trying to sell me Bitcoin, and they were saying, "Have you ever considered investing in Bitcoin?" And I said, "No, not really. Not after all the money I lost on my last Bitcoin investment." And he said, "Well, how much did you invest?" I said, £10 million. He said, "That's a lot of money." I said, "I know. Well, I was promised a massive return, so I invested 10 million." And then he just couldn't quite believe. And he started getting really, really angry, sort of like wasting my time. I said, "I know. I should have taken that 10 million and bought the company that you're working for and fired you." And then he hung up on me. I don't know why. It's when you get the automated ones with the AI voice saying that the police are on their way to your location to arrest you because you haven't paid your council tax or something. And press 1 now to give the spammers your credit card details.
That's my guilty pleasure, and I discovered this under the pandemic. There is one, maybe two people who their only job, I mean, they are YouTubers, but they're going after fake scam call centers. And what they do is of course, they take all the calls that they get, and then they profile them and get all the information. And over time, they get to their web cameras. They just monitor them to like, all right, he's called Rajesh or whatever, and then suddenly they just start calling them. I'm like, "Hi, Rajesh, could I talk to Sumaya sitting next to you?" And you can see they just freeze, like, someone call us. They know what we're like. And then it's just starting casually, like, dropping their address and, "Why are you trying to act as?" And then, they totally panic and they scramble and they shut everything down. And then also the other thing that he does is, like, he has like a voice generator. So he just have an old lady voice and he just takes spam calls, and the only goal is to keep them online for as long as possible. And then, we want you to go and get a Google gift card. "Oh, well, okay, I'll go down to the local shop and get the." Then, of course, in 10 minutes, he come back with a couple of like these gift cards and starting to punch in the numbers on screen. And of course, the scammer is just sitting there. "Oh, okay, we're getting paid. And then, it says I should fill in this number here as well." "No, not the scratch code, not the scratch code." And, "Oh, I redeemed this one. I'll do the next one as well." No, you're sending money back to yourself." What? I'm going to do the next one. Do you get the money now?" And they get so angry before they realize they're being, like, hassled. But yeah, it's so fun to watch. That is, I could do that for hours.
Yeah.
I mean, that it is a good thing to keep them on the line as long as possible, because then they can't call anyone else.
Exactly.
So I mean, you are doing a good deed if you are pulling their legs as far apart as you can. That became weird.
And the last episode, I mean, a lot of these scammers, they're following a script. So the last thing they did, a couple of, you can probably call them hackers, but they set up an AI chatbot system to learn from the calls and whatnot, and then reply just to keep them occupied. So now they have a scam center scam server just randomly taking scam calls and using AI to just keep them occupied for as long as possible. And the better AI is getting, the less wiser the scammers are that this is not an old lady, but it's just AI. And that is brilliant. You can just set up servers to answer, and then you have scammers setting up AI.
And then you're just having AI talking to AI.
It's a perfect circle.
And just burning the rainforest for nothing, clogging up the
Yeah.
phone lines.
Yeah, and popping up. I think Norway went from, was it 50 something to now 79 data centers in a year because TikTok need to store cat videos and scam. So yeah, we're doomed. We are doomed.
Oh, yes. And on that note, what a great episode that's been.
Yeah, thank you. See you next week. Have a lovely one.
Scams and certain global death.
I mean, I think we can cross out corporate rant of the week. That's the first bullet point on my list.
Yeah, good. Never can start episode for real. Welcome to episode 115 of the Make Room Mistakes podcast. With Haavard from Behind the Mistakes, Phil from Phil Makes Things, and me, KJ, from Crude But Efficient. So, does it feel better having that off your chest? Ranting about IT and the corporate world and that sort of thing.
I don't know if I feel better, but I certainly feel just
You feel something, at least.
a modicum lighter than I did a couple of hours ago.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, let's focus on making instead. I think that's
Exactly.
That's
No
healthier.
one wants to know that I spent 3 hours chasing Intram's BusyBox problem.
I don't know what any of those words mean, and I'm rather happy about that.
Neither do I.
Yes, I'm visualizing you having a bathroom break and frantically Googling stuff, just trying to figure out what your job is about.
In all this chat of AI, sometimes AI does come in very, very handy. When you are faced with a problem which you have never seen before, and you go, what is this? And they go, oh, it's this. And then you try all the suggested fixes and none of them work. And then you turn it off and turn it on again and it works fine. And you get to go home. That's not what happened, but yeah, it was close. It was close.
That sounds heartbreaking.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, have you done anything fun the last week, Phil?
Well, I wasn't working last Friday because I noticed that the weather was going to be nice. And over here, last week, it was really nice all week. And being in the office all week was absolute bloody torture because it's the end of autumn and I wanted to get out with my camera into the woods. And I knew that Friday was also going to be a nice day. So I took Friday off, went walking in the woods, and it was fantastic. And then Saturday I went walking in some different woods and much different weather. It was very foggy, very misty, a bit rainy. And the spot that I went to is usually quite popular. It's a popular place to go for a picnic or walk the dog or all that sort of stuff.
Hiding bodies.
And I got there and the car park was entirely empty. And I just walked around for an hour. I didn't see another soul. Just walking around in the rain, in the mist, in the fog. And it was fantastic. Absolutely. They were my favourite conditions, I think. And then Saturday night, here's the thing. I like whiskey. Mrs. Things likes gin, but we both quite like spiced rum. And we had about half a bottle of spiced rum. So we thought we'd have one. Then we had another one. And then we had some more. And then Sunday, my absolute intention was to go into the workshop and do all kinds of very interesting things on Sunday, but I was unwell.
Because you didn't have half a bottle of spiced rum anymore.
No.
Each. Yeah.
No, so it was only quarter of a bottle each. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't a pig shat in my brain bad. Just very, very tired, and the next part of the project, either the top or the bottom, requires some very specific mathematical works, and I was in no fit state. to be doing anything beyond, 1 + 1 is 2, probably.
But it did sound like you had a lovely weekend.
Oh, I had a great weekend. Yeah, loved it. Didn't touch a single piece of wood. Well, not dead. I spent the weekend amongst the living wood rather than the dead wood.
Well, that sounds nice.
Yeah,
So it was a good investment to not go to work as well.
absolutely. Totally worth the day off. How about anyone else?
Yeah. Håvard, what about you?
Yeah, I've done a lot, and then also nothing. It feels like I published a video for the Hellcorder Bellows final chapter.
Yeah.
I finished that over a week ago. So, I mean, I just published a video. So I haven't done the making this week other than packing it down and moving it out of the way to do other things. Mixed feelings. As I said in the video, I mean, if it didn't work, that would be perfectly fine because then you have to do something different. Or if it worked flawlessly, then you could pat yourself on the back and move on your merry way. The problem is it almost worked.
Yeah, it was close to. I mean,
Yeah.
it made sound. Not
It
so
did,
consistent,
so just-
perhaps.
More capacity, a little bit better bellows, a little bit larger engines, and it should be perfect. But still, I boxed it up and put it away for a rainy day. Because now I want to do new things, different things, better things. No, not better. Different.
Did that feel good? Boxing it up.
It actually did, because I was not sure when I made the box that it would fit after I fit the bellows, but it did. It's a snug fit, and the air hose connecting the parts, which you have to take off, it had a small place where that fit as well, so everything is boxed up nicely. It's almost like it's intentional. So that is now ready to be rolled out of the workshop, because now I'm moving it around to get to other stuffs. And I've been really ramping up for Christmas. I have made the 4 clocks. I put them in boxes. I put the shrubbery in, or what was the word you called it again? Raffia, yeah. And then
Shrubbery.
Shrubbery. And then I made labels and everything. So now I have 4 clocks and 3 butter knives ready to something. I'm not sure. I could sell them. I just don't know where. I could give them away. Don't know to whom. So,
I was going to say, you've got all these things beautifully packaged in shrubbery. So did you actually have anyone to give them to? Or they just stock on a shelf ready to go?
now they are stock. I'm thinking
that's
it
good
could
as well
be
to have.
Christmas gifts. But I have not thought too much about who's getting what. But I mean that's a luxury problem. So, but that is done. That hasn't been filmed, so it's not going to be a YouTube video of that. And then I suddenly this weekend realized that Christmas, or the 1st of December, is approaching real fast. And for the last couple of years, I wanted to make the candlelight holder that I made, but for 4 candles. 4 candles.
4 candles.
4 candles. For Advent. And I realized, fuck, this is the upcoming weekend. And I 3D printed a cast because I thought, let's make it in concrete with a oak base to contrast it. Because the other candlelight holder I made was made of pure oak, but since last Christmas we got an oak table, so it feels like oak on oak is a bit bland. So I thought concrete is nice.
Double denim.
Yeah, I have denim. Crap, it's too late now. So I've been making a mold, 3D printed, the kind of mold that you need to chip off in pieces, so it's not the kind you can reuse. And then I book matched some oak to put on the bottom. I poured the concrete today. I drilled a lot of screws into the oak, flipped that on its head into the concrete so that the screws are sticking up but is embedded in the concrete. So once it's set, it should be one piece. Not sure how it's going to be, but I'm going away for 2 days, like for work. So I thought if I get that today, the concrete can set the next couple of days, and then I come back on Thursday night. I can start peeling it off, and hopefully I'm ready for the 1st of December, or Sunday, I think is the first night of Advent.
Yes.
And then, of course, I thought, I'm not going to be bothered filming that because it will be so much quicker to just do it off camera, because it's not going to be interesting video for anyone to watch. And then, of course, I 3D printed the mold and like, but what if I change my mind? I mean, let's just put up the camera and press record. And yes, now we have a full-blown YouTube video. It's going to be a short one, though, but yeah.
So you mean only 20 minutes?
Exactly. So I have been doing a lot. And then, of course, I've started planning for the fireworks video, the rocket video. I need to buy some RC rocket motors. I got the fireworks. There are different ways of solving it. And I've been reading up on the laws and regulations, because we talked about it earlier. The stick rockets are illegal in Norway, but I could not find that reference in any law or any regulation. And I was looking through up and down. All the Norwegian laws are on an online site, so you can actually search them and find whatever you need. But I found all the articles where it was banned in 2008, but nobody referenced where it's actually stated in the law. And it turns out it's not illegal per se, but there are some regulations with regards to use for private persons that kind of makes it illegal. But it's not stated anywhere it's illegal as an item, because if you're a professional pyrotechnician, you could, of course, buy them and use them because it's your job. And then I fell down into a rabbit hole. What does it take to be a registered pyrotechnician? And not that much, but more than I would like to do, and I can't make it before New Year's Eve. But my conclusion is I can actually do this project without breaking the law. I just have to interpret it in my favor. But I mean, what's legal business if that's not the case? Yes, we have a set of rules,
Yes.
and we need to interpret them, and then, well, we interpret them in our way, so now you're a criminal and you have to go to jail. So it's a fine line. But that's
Did
happening.
you say fun line or fine line?
Yes, bit of both.
Yes, very much. But anyway, the thing is, for a private person, there is a very small window between 6 p.m. and 2 a.m. on New Year's Eve where you can light up any fireworks. Outside that time window, it's basically illegal. So let's say, for the sake of argument, that my interpretation of the rules are correct and what I'm planning to do is legal. It's only legal within that time window. So I have to pick a solution, go with that. I can't test it before that time window because then I would be breaking the law. And then I have to find somewhere and rig up and film me trying this. And if it works, beautifully. If not, then I'm gonna try the different approach, but that have to be next year or whenever I'm released from jail, whatever happens first.
I can't
So
test it
that's-
beforehand, so it might be a damp fart or it might be Armageddon.
Yes. So that's filling up my time schedule, and then there is another one that I thought about a couple of years ago, or maybe even earlier or later, that I wanted to do, but I just put it off. I don't know if you've seen Simone Giertz, the day calendar.
Yeah,
Um,
the everyday calendar.
I want one, and I see that she has 20% off in her web shop. But I remember her making it, and she said that originally she wanted to do this old-fashioned like flip switches and
Yeah,
an LED light, but that like 360 of those switches are expensive and a lot of repetitive soldering. Now, I like repetitive soldering, and I think that aesthetics would be better. So I went online and I checked. I can buy those switches in bulk, and I might match her price. So
yeah.
I'm thinking I would like to make that day calendar. But then, of course, it's a day calendar, so of course you would like to flip the first switch on the 1st of January, because I thought I'll keep it in my workshop, and for every time I flick the switch, it's been a day in the workshop making something. But then again, then it should be finished until 1st of January. But I'm thinking, if I order the parts this week, all the switches, all the LEDs, it's very easy for the CNC to drill all the holes for the switches and the LEDs in a plate of some sorts. And then I'm thinking, it's going to take me an evening to mount all the 365 switches and LEDs. And then it's just going to be a couple of chill days just soldering up wires on the backside of it. So, I mean, it's doable. And I also got some new soldering that is not containing lead. So I got that going for me as well. So, but I'm not sure. It might be a next year project. I'm not sure. But that's at least all the things that I have on my list, making wise, for this episode.
Well, I think if you just don't go to work and then ignore the rest of your family for the next 6 weeks, you can definitely get this done by the 1st of January.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds about reasonable. Yeah, you might want to look at a different starting date. I mean, your birthday perhaps is a good day to start.
That is true. But let me check my Patreon to see if I can quit my job to focus on this for 6 weeks, and then I'll get back to you.
Well, yes, I
no.
didn't win the 139 million quid it was on Friday.
Oh,
I'm sure
neither.
if I had, I probably would have led with that.
yeah. I hope you would, but yeah.
No.
Although that would have been a good cliffhanger for the half pint.
Well, I did win some money on the Euro lottery. And that you can find out in the half pint.
Yeah, but that's a bit off still.
Oh, no, yeah. I'm going to make a note of that.
By like 10 minutes. Oh.
Yeah, that might be true, actually. Yeah.
How about you, KJ? Any making this past week?
Very little. I have bird-proofed my ventilation holes.
Hey!
Ventilation hole, that sounds weird, but yeah, you know what I mean. What I did was go get some drainage pipe and cut it up in, I think, like a 20 centimeter piece. But that was the same dimension as the actual ventilation duct. So I cut away like 1 or 2 centimeters on lengthwise, cut it up, so you can fold it in over itself. And then I put some steel mesh on the end of it and just put it in as far as I could in the ventilation duct and let it unfold, so to say. So it actually springed back to its original form. So then it got stuck in there. And it seems like it's keeping the birds out, at least. So that was a good start, just to finish it off now. Not to have bird poop in our beds, because that's not nice.
It's not ideal, is it?
No.
No.
And have to thank Tim. No, that's not a word. Tim from Turgworks. Actually,
Thim from Turgworks, yeah.
yes, that's the new name for him.
That's him.
Who actually send me a voice message with some ideas on how to fix it without climbing a 2.5-story ladder. So we'll see about that in the springtime. His idea was to have a line through the grate and just take a new grate down on the floor level and fix it with silicone and just pull it up with a string and more or less pull it into the building and hope that it sticks.
I mean, as a Swede, you would know what I'm on about when I just say Thunder King.
Well, everything can't be solved with explosions.
Well,
You've been doing a bit too much fireworks read up, I feel. Yeah, but I think the having something preloaded with silicone and pulling it up by a string on the wall, I know my luck, and it will be silicone everywhere on that wall. But I might do some kind of spring-loaded thing, holding a grate from the outside, perhaps. But that is for springtime, when I actually feel like being outside more and try to fix stuff. So at least it's good enough for now, as it is.
I wanted to get a pack of those because I see you get some special zip ties to fasten fans to radiators. And then it turns out it's basically 2 zip ties. When you take the one, which have a big disc at the end, and you poke it through something and then into the receiving end of another zip tie. And then you just pull it close, and when it's tight, it's tight. So you can do that as well if you make
that could work, yes.
a cover or something, and then just put a zip tie on the other end and like zip, and then it's stuck. Then you have a zip tie dangling on the inside of your room, but I mean that can come in handy.
I mean, there are kind of mesh thing on the inside as well, holding the adjustable lid. So there's something to hold from that end. So
yeah. You have this round screw lids as well. Yeah.
Gonna let that one simmer a bit. But I mean, that's like the only making I have been doing. I did some late night B-roll videoing, just as long as the workshop was in that same condition as it was when I did the filming that needed that additions. But other than that, I haven't really had any time because, I mean, we had a shareholders meeting with the company I work at. And since I have 0.13% of the shares, it felt good to attend. And then
right, no need to brag.
Mr. Money over guy.
There. Yes, that will equip to like maybe 1,000 quid or something like that payout from the shares this year, maybe, depending on how much the tax man takes. And that feels, I mean, great, because I just got the car back from the mechanic today, spending like £1,500 on changing all the suspension. That's fun before Christmas. And we decided not to change the timing belt that they thought we should have done 2 years ago, because that would be almost another £1,000.
Hasn't broken yet.
Yeah.
I'll change it when it's broke. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wear it till it's finished.
Yeah, I mean, but with this new this run at mechanics, we got free car rescue, what it's called, when they come to pick up if I have a disaster, for like 6 months. So that's like, oh yeah, that's good. If the timing belt actually fails, then we have that. And they didn't think that was funny.
Oh, that's useful. I thought you were going to say, well, I spent £1,000 having all the £1,500 having all the suspension redone, but I got a free air freshener, so makes it all worth it.
Yeah, no, it's great fun to spend a lot of money on cars, isn't it?
Isn't it wonderful?
Yeah.
I do like that. It was one of those ridiculous reels that you flick past, and you could never find again if you tried to search for it. But it's someone driving it's a little Peugeot 206, I think it is. And they're driving it through a flood, and it stalls, and then it catches fire. And it just says, Peugeot.
Yeah. It's
A friend of mine had a Peugeot 504, the turbo intercooler version, and those were, I mean, the few that worked. They were properly up there, and his one didn't. So he wanted to sell it to me for a very nice price, and I was 18, so I thought, yeah, that would. But he wasn't a good seller because he said, yeah, you need new. You need new spark plugs, which means you have to take the intercooler off and the top of the engine, and you have to remove the undercarriage and the doors and the windshield. And yeah, French cars are not for me. So I was going to say it was a stroke of wisdom at 18, but let's be honest, I couldn't afford buying it because if I had the money, I would have been the proud owner of not running Peugeot. Peugeot, Peugeot, as we say in Norway.
Peugeot.
Yeah, Peugeot. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
dunno.
it's not a great car. I mean, this is a Peugeot we have, but it's been fine.
I know I had to buy a stopgap car some years ago now, when my car became disabled because I did something very clever, and I'll go into that some other time. Long story short, the car was working, and then the immobilizer wouldn't turn off, and it was entirely my fault. And the only way around this was to be completely replace the immobilizer system, which I wasn't going to do. So I thought, fine, I'll just scrap it and I'll go and buy the cheapest, closest car I can find. And I paid, excuse me, £250 for a bright red Peugeot 306. And it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And I think I had it for about 2 years, and I never serviced it. And it just sailed through MOTs, and you put petrol in, and it went and it stopped, and I never serviced it. It was great, but on long journeys, oh God, it was not fun. It's definitely a city car. You spend more than an hour sitting in it, and you try and get out, and like, oh, my back doesn't work anymore. So
yeah, I can relate to that.
it had to go for. I can't even remember what I had after that. Probably doesn't matter. It's great audio content. Nobody cares. Yeah. Even I don't care.
But I care. It matters to me. I follow a couple of car people, and I'm always fascinated by it. Yeah, the car immobilizer is not working, so you have to replace a lot, and it costs a lot of money. But then you see these YouTubers. They take a car, yeah, and you drop an engine in it, and then you buy this little small box from a company, and everybody uses that box, and you just put it in and you hook it up to the spark plugs and two lead wires. I'm guessing plus and minus on the battery, or and it starts and works out of the box. I mean, and that costs like a smidge of the immobilizer system if you have to get that. So why can't the garages just, yeah, you fucked up here, but you can buy this very fine aftermarket piece of kit here for next to nothing, and that will make your car run without asking any questions whatsoever.
I assume probably if it completely bypasses the ECU, then your emissions will be through the roof. If it's just a very simple ignition system. So yes, you can buy these things, but
At least it
In
will
a-
work until your next MOT.
exactly. In places like America, who don't really care about these sort of things, in
Yeah.
certain states,
Yeah,
I'm sure it's
true.
absolutely fine. You try that shit over here.
You'll get arrested. But I mean, when we are into the French, I totally forgot about this. But at some point, I needed a car, and me and my dad we went to look at a Peugeot 205 GTI 1.9 at a bargain price because it turns out the gearbox was gone, and of course
I
he
think you
had
need
this
those.
he had the spare gearbox, and then he said he was planning on putting it in, and we're like, all right, but if you put it in, we're interested. We can buy the car. And we went home, and I got my hopes up, and then the bastard sold it to someone else without even telling us. Because if he told us, we would okay, then we'll buy it and we'll attach the new gearbox ourselves. But yesterday, at an online marketplace, someone was selling an identical car in mint condition, of course, for more money than my car today is worth. So I would be spending more money getting that one. But I still like it's the one that got away. And then there was a white, pristine, non rust with all the decals, and it was the 1.9, which it I mean it left the Golf GTI in the dust. I remember at least what they claimed. But no, I haven't splurged on that. So, different life, next life, second life. I don't know.
Is that the next car when your Jeep finally bites the last bullet?
No, I mean, I spent so much money on my Jeep that it needs to run for at least 2 years. But if it breaks, I'm getting a K truck. No questions asked. I'm getting that, and I'm selling
Nice.
my trailer. That is, I'm gonna be that guy in that small pickup with then I'm gonna print a big behind the mistakes decal to put on the front door, and I'm gonna go all in on that. The
I think
problem
that
is
would suit you.
the only problem is they only have 2 seats. If it had 3 seats, I would have bought it today. But it is hard picking up 2 kids legally in a 2-seater without doing 2 round trips to school and kindergarten. But I mean,
How
they are
hard?
soon old enough to
Hmm.
walk home.
Well, they're small, so one in the seat and one can sort of sit down the footwell. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like
Policeman
it's a
can't see them.
footwell on that one. Is that basically sitting on a hood?
Yeah.
But how hard would it be to actually make a back seat for it and actually get it licensed and all of that? I mean, it's
There
not impossible.
I mean, the licensing should be the least of your problem. The problem would be the laws of physics because there is no room. But I learned something this
I
week
mean, you
that
could put on the back of it, have it removable. So
yeah.
you slide like Thunderbird 2. You slide a new piece in if you want the back seat or not.
But what I
Open
learned
air
was
back seats.
You could put a roof on it
Oh,
as well.
I mean you are so close there, Phil, that you don't, because I learned something this week. In Australia, Subaru had a car that they just called a Brat. It is a pickup truck, and it has 2 seats in the front as any pickup truck, but it also have 2 seats facing rear
Ah, yeah. So they're back to back.
outside in the back in
Yeah.
the whatever it's called, the back thingy on the pickup trucks, and it's perfectly legal. I mean, in Norway, it wouldn't make sense because it's raining and snowing 60% of the time, so the kids would be miserable. But I mean, I'm picking them up from school; they're already miserable. So
It's character building.
exactly. And the question is, I haven't seen any of them in Norway, so I am like, it might not be legal here, but in the outback Australia, this I mean, I've seen a lot of them online with.
I mean, if you put a backwards facing seat bolted down on the bed of a K truck, wouldn't that be the safest place to be if you crashed with that thing?
For sure, for sure. I mean, the tin can in the front where your knees are an integral structural part of the crumpling zone. Yeah, that's you don't want to crash in one of those. I mean, to be fair, you don't want to crash in anything pre
No,
2000s. So
but that's like, yeah, you're sitting in a tin can, more or less.
yeah.
Oh, it's great to have plans, hopes, and dreams.
Exactly.
One day I'm going to own my very own tin can.
One day, in this economy, one day.
Can a boy not dream?
A second-hand tin can.
Second-hand imported tin can.
Yes.
Domestically, they were never available.
Yeah, so that was it, actually. That's all the things that I had on my list, and we actually got some car talk in as well. Not bad, not bad.
I mean, we're always reverting to either cars or death when we don't have anything to talk about.
Yeah.
Or IT problems. But we finished that in the preamble, so yeah.
Yeah. It's good. I'm going to try and really just not bring the work into the thing, but it's so difficult.
Yeah, speaking of lists, I actually have one thing on my list I wrote down, I don't know when, but it's been there a long time, and I haven't need to use it. But now I actually thought about it today, so it might be a good thing. Just thinking of tools and workshop thing, and that because that's why we are talking. Should talk about that. I mean, the tools that you think, why didn't I get this one sooner? And while you're thinking, I can say that for me, it's definitely the Palm router, because that has been the MVP of my workshop for the last month or two. I've been using it more than I ever thought I would, and I just question why didn't I get this one sooner? Because it's really useful, and I didn't really feel that. I didn't think it was, but apparently I was wrong. So what do you say? What was the tool that you, or do you have a tool that you feel, why didn't I get this one sooner?
I'm very much the same as you, because I had a router, like a big one. It's still only a 1/4 inch collet, but it's the big green Bosch, the one that everybody has with
The big heavy.
the big heavy plunging one that everyone starts on. And it's great for the things that you need it for, but one of those little Katsu, mine's a Katsu, it's a knockoff of a Makita. I bought that and it was about 35 quid. And I splurged and I bought the router table plates. Didn't buy the router table. So I made a little router table and just put the plate in it. So now you've got a palm router and a little router table. And I think it was about 50 quid all in. And I use that so much for all kinds of things. For, well, routing mainly.
Yeah.
Making sandwiches and
It's a great umbrella. And it's a great way to stay in shape. But no, I use that a lot more than I ever thought I would. And yeah, for the money that you pay for them, and I'm sure they have a limited lifespan, being so cheap. But when it eventually burns out or whatever happens to it, I'm just going to get another one. I might get a cordless one. But no, I think they're brilliant. Wouldn't be without it.
So what about you, Hor?
It's a very easy list because it's all my tools. So the last one I thought like, oh my god, why didn't I get these sooner? And that's, I mean, it's sad to realize, because I have a lot of tools that, like, should I get them? Maybe not, but once you get them, it's like, oh my god, why didn't I get this sooner? Um, Another problem I have is basically not remembering that I have a tool that's suited for the job.
Ah,
Because when I was gonna split that oak piece earlier today down the middle, I just realized I don't have a bandsaw that can do this. So like, oh my god, I'm facing 2 hours with the Japanese pull saw to make this into two smaller, thinner slabs. So it's just like, all right, I have to do this. And then, of course, I just filmed a clip in my workshop and sent it to Glenn. Like, fuck my life. The next 2 hours, I'm going to be acquainted with this pull saw. And he just answered, like, but you got a table saw, right? You just cut on all the four sides on that, as close to the center you get. And then you just use the pull saw to take the last center bit out. Oh my god, you're right. And I've seen probably thousands of videos where people are doing that. And yeah, that's smart. And that's probably also one of the reasons I got the table saw in the first place several years ago. And then today I was almost sitting on it as an integral part of my workbench. Like, how the fuck could I tear this piece of wood apart the most efficient way? And like, yeah, Japanese pull saw. So yeah, I mean, hat off to Glenn. You saved me a lot of time there. But
yeah.
yeah,
When I saw that video clip, I thought you were just baiting because I mean, you were using the table saw as a display piece for the piece of wood that you were talking about. You were just laying right there beside where the blade
exactly.
comes up.
It was a perfect example of something just is being right under your nose the whole time.
Very much so.
So
Why do things the easy way when you can do it the very slow, repetitive?
yeah, but I mean, once I got on a roll, because I did that with the table saw, as as close that I dared. But I'm terrified of using the table saw. And then, of course, I chucked the piece of wood up in the vise, and then I got my Japanese pull saw out and started like, and then I realized this is gonna take a long time. And then, but you got to brick or oh yeah, the sawzall. Let's go the American word. And I got some very rudimentary wood blades for that. I wonder if I have some long ones that can. Yes, I do. So I did the last part with the reciprocating saw,
Yes.
and that worked perfectly. And then I glued the two pieces of wood together, and then all beautifulness descended from heaven, and the angels sang and whatnot. And then I realized I don't have a thickness here, but I have a number 4 hand plane. So I'm going old school. But I don't have a way of clamping it. So what I did was I drilled 4 holes and I screwed it to my work bench. And then I planed the center very carefully, not running the planer over the screw heads. But it worked perfectly. So I was very pleased. I felt like a proper woodworker, although a proper woodworker would probably kill me. But yeah, so
That's why your working stock is always oversized, just in
yeah,
case you need to
put
screw
some.
it to your workbench.
But it is brilliant though, not having the what's the Swedish brand P. Something that they make like these old traditional wooden benches um, for woodworking, but they're too
Sjöbergs.
nice. Sorry.
Sjöbergs.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, because I
Big,
was one.
heavy
I wanted one
classic.
of those modular ones that you can put on top of your work table. But then again, you would be too afraid. I'm not
Yeah.
afraid of my. I mean, I need to fasten this so I can work on it. Yep, I'll just screw it to the tabletop. There it is. It's not going anywhere. And then, yeah, you can shave it down to the thickness you want and unscrew it. Voila.
It's more the Laura Kampf style of
Mm.
the workbench is supposed to look like you've used it.
Yeah.
Let's flip it on its head. So, any of you bought anything which you thought I definitely need this, and then just never used it, or realised this was a huge waste of money?
To my wife, if you happen to listen to this episode, I think I heard a noise outside. Could you go and check that?
I'll go first if it makes you feel better.
Yeah, all right. Go
My
on.
my mitre saw, mitre chop saw. I've used it a handful of times, but mostly it sits on a shelf because it's a pain in the ass to set up, and every time you set it up, it's gone out of square, and then you've got to try and finagle it back perfectly into square again, and the rails are going rusty because my workshop's damp. And I just, every time I go to think I need to cut a mitre, I go, should I just use a mitre gauge and a handsaw? Would this actually be easier? Yes, it would, rather than spending half an hour setting that bloody thing up.
I've been drooling for years over the Bosch miter saw with the articulated arm that you can put like straight up to a wall. And I keep coming back to it. And I still, during Black Week, it's like, all right, is it on sale? And then they have the battery version, which, I mean, do you need that? But what I use my miter saw is I have a cheap one from Ryobi. And the only thing I've used it for the last 4 years, I bring it outside to cut decking boards for when you're going to make like small pieces the same size. That's the only thing. If I'm doing anything close to fine woodworking, I'm I'm using the pull saw because setting it up and getting it functioning is a pain. So
I suppose if you're doing sort of construction stuff like that, and okay, so it's 45.7 degrees. Yeah, it's close enough.
Exactly. Yeah. And the problem is, though, I would have gotten a Bosch one. I would have set it up in my workshop. I would have made a separate table bench slot for it. And I wouldn't have been using it because the only thing I cut with the miter saw is the decking plank. And then, of course, I would still use the Ryobi because I'm not bringing my expensive Bosch one outside to rust and get wet and whatnot. So far, it's a good thing that I haven't bought one. But, I mean, if it's on sale, I'm probably going to end up with one at some point.
Yeah, my miter saw is, I mean, it's nice to have a miter saw, but I think that's the tool I think I've never been truly happy with using it. Because, I mean, yeah, it's the same as you, Phil. It's a hassle to take it out because I don't have a miter station for it because I want to do cutting outside. So it's heavy and it's never been totally square and never will be either. And I think it's the only Makita tool I own that I'm not happy with. But I don't think I would be happy with any other kind either. So, but it's good to have. I've used it a lot, but I always envision it to be easier and giving a better result than it actually does. But I think the tool that took me the longest to actually have a use for it is the drill driver, or what is it called? Yeah, the impact driver. That's the word I was looking for. Because I mean, as everyone, I got the set of the drill and the driver, and for the longest time, I could not find a good use for the impact driver. It was always too aggressive, and I mean, I just used 2 drills instead. One for driving the screws and one for drilling, because I felt more at ease using it. So it's only when you have really asshole screws that that you really need an impact driver, and that's very very seldom I need that. I think I more need a weaker drill to drive the screws, actually, because the ones I have are a bit too powerful, or maybe I'm too weak. That might be it as well.
I don't know. I had an ancient. It wasn't a drill driver. It was just a drill, but yeah, it had a clutch on it, so you could drive screws and not strip them out if you went too far. It was an ancient Black and Decker one with a NiCad battery, and it took 20 hours to charge and ran for 20 minutes. And I splurged and bought the Milwaukee 18-volt drill and driver combination set, and they've been brilliant. I mean, I've had them for about 5, 6, 7 years now, and they're fantastic. But if I was buying them again, I wouldn't buy 18-volt. I just don't need it. I think the new 12-volt stuff is perfectly adequate for most people.
Yeah, for those things. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. For small stuff, the small tools, they're so good now.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just wielding around these great big 18-volt batteries. It's all like, you don't need to do this. Technology's moved on.
And the good thing is with the 12 volts battery, now you can get a battery clip with just 2 lead wires on, and a lot of equipment runs off 12 volts. Some of it is a bit touchy if you're attaching a 18 volts battery to it, because a fully charged 18 volts might border 1920 if you're lucky, and that's a bit too much. But yeah, I bought a couple of battery holders for my Bosch 12 volts batteries, and I power a lot of shit with that. So it's a win-win.
I saw a Russian video that someone put one of those adapters on a car battery, which had this 12-volt drill and carried around with an entire car battery. This lasts me all day, more or less, what they said, I think, in Russian.
Well, that would be so cool, though. I mean, one thing is carrying the battery. Because I saw someone mounting a car battery to the drill and just wielding it around, and it was obvious fake, because nobody is carrying a 12-volt car battery on like a straight arm for minutes. But what if you did a 12-volt car battery and you just put a long extension wire on it and connected that to your power tool? So I mean, you would be back to the corded drill. It's just like a cord
Corded,
from
cordless.
a battery. Yeah, corded, cordless.
Yeah, better not. Better not.
Wow. I suppose it's a bit like years and years and years ago. I was a kid. I went on a tour of an old coal mine, and they gave you all the gear, like the hat and the lamp, and this massive battery which you had to carry over your shoulder. It probably wasn't that massive, but to like a 7-year-old, this thing is huge and really heavy. And you're just lumping around this old coal mine in the dark, carrying this really heavy battery. I thought this was going to be a fun day out. This is rubbish.
And that's just the power of a really small, weak lamp.
A tiny little incandescent lamp in a little holder, which you can't see anything.
Yeah. I remember me and a friend, we were probably 10 and 12 years old, and I saved up my pocket money and I bought a huge ass flashlight, because there was a lot of like bunkers, World War II bunkers around in my municipality, and we wanted to go and explore them, so we got flashlights. And then, like, in our imagination, there was still skeletons of dead Germans there, and gold and ammunition left behind if you just poked around good enough. And we went there, and of course, with old time flashlights, I got the biggest maglite flashlight you could get for money. And yes, it could light up the mountain a few hundred yards away. And it had, I think it was 6 double D cell batteries or whatever was popular at that time. And it, like,
Oh, the truncheon.
Yeah, exactly.
You turned it on, and it was daylight for 2 seconds, and then it died, and you had to spend $1 million on new batteries. And of course, today I bought a small LED pocket flashlight for like £2, and that's stronger. It's putting out more lumen on 3 AAA batteries, and it will last you for a day if you forget to turn it off. So yeah,
Yeah.
Maglite kind of died a horrible death.
But
And,
I mean, they looked really good at least.
Oh yes, they did. You looked badass if you could lift
Yeah,
it.
I think I had a 4D one, and somewhere I've still got the belt loop that you could get. You could like holster it on your belt.
Yeah.
Yeah, to look like a cop
Yeah.
in an American 80s movie. Yeah, I only had a small for 2 AA batteries. But I mean, I like the form factor, and I mean that, like Laura Kampf's video a week or 2 ago, where she remade one into a really weird looking.
Oh yeah, I saw the thumbnail
one.
of that, but
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet.
I'm sad I threw mine away. I think it corroded because I forgot it with the batteries in. But it would be cool today. I did look into getting LED inserts because at some point Maglite did that. You could buy LED inserts,
Mm-hmm.
but it only went up to the 4D. It did not go to the 6D version. And of course, at that point, I did not think, well, I could just put in 2 dummy batteries and then just hook up the 4. So I just tossed it away. And today, of course, you could put any LED light into that old reflective housing and make it work. So today I would probably, with those batteries, it would last me a millennium, but I tossed it away. So there's no going back.
Yeah.
Well, you never know what you might get for Christmas.
Will I be going on any online marketplace in the half pint looking for Maglite? Yes, I will.
Have I
Maybe.
already started my phone? Yes, I have. So I guess it's time for the half pint.
Already written it on my post-it note.
So go and search for some old flashlights yourself, and we'll see you in a half pint.
Flash with an A.
Yeah, didn't I say that?
Not Fleisch. Flashlight.
I know what I said. I don't know what you heard, and that goes for you listeners as well. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.